Hello there. I'm Scotty O, and welcome back to Sequel-A-Thon V. The V is a Roman numeral. It's not a 2. Alright, so before I get into this movie, I have something I want to say. I'm going to try to get a couple more done today. We'll see how it goes. But I was informed today that tomorrow and Thursday they're going to come and replace my kitchen floor. A day before they're going to do it. Obviously, I couldn't plan for this. And of course, something had to come along. I knew that it was going to happen, but I didn't know when. Because it was a couple months ago where the caretaker came in and said, "Oh, you need to have the floor replaced." Okay. I have been told for the past 6 years or so now, maybe not that long, but at least by 5 years, since 2019 or so, that I need this replaced, and nothing has come of it. So when am I supposed to drop everything when they tell me that it's going to happen and it doesn't happen, right? Well, now it's going to, and that's going to take up 2 days. 2 days of valuable filming time for me that I could do this Sequel-A-Thon. So, Sequel-A-Thon's going to have a little break or more because this is a weekend with my son. So I don't know if I get anything on Thursday when I get finally able to get back in here. Obviously, I'll be in here to go sleep, but other than that, I don't know. Whenever they get done for the day, I'll come back in again, I guess. But yeah, so I'm gonna need a couple done. I am pretty much done moving everything from the floor. I got this table obviously and that behind me, and I got my side table here with Big LT's side table and a couple garbages that I need to move. But other than that, it's not. I can do that tomorrow morning. Tomorrow I can do it. So yeah. Anyways, on with the review. Let's move on to Smile 2. Yes, I know what you're probably saying. Hey, wait a minute. This is a horror movie. Don't you usually reserve those for October? I do. But here's the situation. One, I needed some horror representation in here, and I thought this and the next one I'm doing, they're sequels. They fit with this more than just to randomly do them Halloween. So, yeah. Smile 2. I've already seen this once. It's my second time watching. So, when I saw the trailer for this, I was excited for a second film. I was like, cool. We're gonna follow Kyle Gallner, and he's gonna figure out how to stop it, right? At least that's what I thought until the trailer came out. And all of a sudden, we're following this random pop star for no reason. And I went, what is this? I mean, I know they put out information, and they're like, there's just following a pop star who gets infected. I'm like, okay, they're going to figure out some way for Kyle Gallner to work with her to stop this thing, right? And the trailer came out. And the trailer, well, it looked good. Did not feel promising for Kyle Gallner in this movie. So, when I first went to watch this, I had no expectations for it. I was like, no, it's not gonna... I don't like the ending. On my second watch, I was more into it this time. It's not a bad movie, I'll tell you that much. It's not a bad movie. It's no bad movie. It is decently made. I mean, it's very good, it's made very well, is what I'm trying to say. The special effects and even the jump scares work to an extent. But I don't know what it is with some horror movies nowadays, especially like this one. But for some reason, when it's time for someone to scream or cry or make a loud noise, it's like I have it on a medium sound, but it's almost like they turn up the mic when they're recording the scene so that is louder than everything else. Because it could be, normal talking like this, and all of a sudden, it's like, Jesus, I didn't mute it a couple of times because it was so loud. I didn't want my neighbors to think I was torturing someone in here. Again. Hey, Fats got out of line. I put him in his place. Anyway. So, I don't like the ending to this movie. I still don't like it. And upon a rewatch, I really hate the opening to this. I didn't like it the first time, but rewatching it, it just cemented that I hate it. Because they had an out, and they still went with the obvious conclusion to Gardner's story. Even when they did the out, they still went with the obvious conclusion to that story. And then the ending, while it's a big grand thing that sets up other stuff, really doesn't make any sense if you think about it. To how we got there. Okay? It just doesn't make any sense. It almost feels like they came up with the ending and then fashioned the movie around it. But couldn't figure out the simple A to B way to get there, and just said, oh, creature makes it happen. We also don't get any further information on what this thing is. At all. And in sequels, that's what you do, right? Happy Death Day, we find out what caused the little time loop. Happy Death Day to You, we find out what happened to the time loop in the second one. Sequels often explain a little bit more. We get no more explanation. We don't know anything more than we did in the first one. The first one was a commentary on mental health. This one's a commentary on drug abuse and a little bit of mental health, but like drug abuse and alcohol abuse and all that stuff, and yeah. Let's get into it. So we start with Kyle Gallner 6 days after the events of the first film. He has found a drug dealer's house, and his idea is he's going to kill someone in front of the drug dealer so that it passes on to the drug dealer. He can keep on living his life. Honestly, pretty good plan. Drug dealers are scum. Especially those that have served time, prison scum, and yeah, it's a good idea. In theory, on paper, but in execution, it does work until it doesn't. He shows up, he has gun behind somebody, comes in, he shoots the guy, but the other guy, because he's a drug dealer, he's gonna have a gun, starts firing shots at him, so he fires shots back like a fucking idiot and kills the guy. So he's now fucked. He's, no, don't die. But it turns out there was another drug dealer there who was buying stuff from him, so he's free, right? The drug dealer takes off, he's free. Gallner runs off, and immediately gets hit by a fucking car. And that's where you get the little smile thing. Yeah. And I went, fuck this movie. Why? Why did you have to... Why did... He found it out. Why did you have to kill the character? What's the point in him finding it out and passing it on to someone else if you're still going to kill the character off? It doesn't make any sense to me. You might as well have him get fully possessed in front of somebody, instead of going through all that trouble to have him pass it to someone just for him to get hit by a car. It doesn't make any sense. Especially when he could be used later in the film, because at one point she comes across this guy whose brother was infected by it, and he's trying to help her get rid of it. That could have just been him. You didn't have to write a whole new character into this. It could have just been him trying to help. Like, he sees something's going on with her on the news, because paparazzi's all over the place, and he realizes she's got it. So he makes some contact with her. They connect up, and he tries to help her stop it. Simple. And you could also further it that if you survived it, you can still see it. So that helps him be able to figure out where it is. Right? But they don't do that. They decide, forget that character, we're going to focus on this brand new character we never met before and have no attachment to. And this is Sky Riley. She's a musician, a la Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera. Yes. And she's played by real musician, or singer, what's her name? Kimberly from the Power Rangers movie. I can't think of her name. I'm really gonna get up. Naomi Scott. It's just as I got up to Naomi Scott. Naomi, I say it weird. Naomi Scott, who was Kimberly in the 2017 Power Rangers movie. Yes. So she plays Sky Riley, a musician, pop star who has dealt with addiction. She was in a car accident with her boyfriend Paul, who was played by Ray Nicholson, Jack Nicholson's son. And boy, could you tell with that smile. Yeah. We get flashbacks to what happened, but there was a car accident. She was on drugs and intoxicated with alcohol. He died. She didn't. She went to rehab and got all sobered up, but she still takes Vicodin because she has back pains from the accident, which I understand that she wants to focus on her career, but she's still having problems. And she turns out that this drug dealer guy is her drug dealer, and he texts her to say, "Hey, come over." Although he doesn't remember texting her, and while he's there, he gets fully infected by the thing and beats his face in with a dumbbell. She sees it, doesn't call the cops because she's there and there's drugs, and so she just takes off. Not to mention her DNA would be everywhere, but that's never brought up. She touched some things. But she touched the remote, right, to turn the TV on. Her DNA would be on that, but it's never brought up. Not once. No. And from that point on, she starts seeing weird things. And she's advised by her mother, the bitch. No, I call her that. She's a bitch. Her daughter needs mental help. Help with her mental problems. And she's all about, we need to continue the tour. Bitch, that's your daughter. She's all about business. Well, we've got to have money. What am I doing there? He's a this, that. We've got to have money. She's the embodiment of that guy from the Tom and Jerry movie. I mean, serious. Jesus. That's all she cares about. And the music in this is not bad. It's that pop stuff. I grew up with pop stuff. This is more modern. So it's not bad. It's really Naomi Scott singing, so she's good, you know. I'm not gonna know every little thing. So her mother advises her to try to call her friend Gemma and make up with stuff, and she does eventually reach out to Gemma, who does show up. So I'll be there, and she has a weird encounter with the creature, and then Gemma's there. She's like, well, you missed me an hour ago. An hour? Yeah. So, then they do something that I'm like, so remembering the first one, sorry, my belt was messing with me. I was like, so is she really there, or is it all in her head? And they do this thing where she has a dream. And she wakes up from it, and she's laying in bed, and all of a sudden, Gemma becomes a smile thing. And you see that, and then she wakes up, and Gemma's not there anymore. And you think, oh, she was never there, it was all in her head. But then she's there, and it's now daytime. She's losing time, I guess. I think it's something they put in there to try to justify the ending. It still doesn't make any sense, though. It's like, okay, so she is really there. Mom comes in, she doesn't say anything to Gemma, and yeah. And then she just starts to spiral. She gets a message from this guy, Morris, I think his name is. And again, this could have just been Kyle Gallner. But then they wouldn't be able to do the twist. It also doesn't make any sense because we'll get to it. We'll get to it. They're saying she never got those. I don't know. I didn't like the ending of this movie. It reminded me of the ending of the last movie, and it's like we're just rinsing and repeating this. Is what we're doing. So, yes. So she starts to act a little unhinged. At one point, she sees her gay assistant guy leaving her room, and she goes in, it's all trash, and he blames her, or she blames him. But her mom says, "No, he was with me all day. He couldn't have done this." So also, there's this creepy fan who's obsessed with her. You think that he's because he's always smiling, and he's no, there's just the girl you see in the trailer with the braces and the... I don't know. It's just creepy, but... Everyone else sees her, so she's got to be real, right? I guess. I don't know. That's a question. Eventually she meets with this Morris, and he says that his brother was infected by it, and he wasn't free. So he was like a couple times before the chick from the last one. So he wants to find a way to stop her heart, so that hopefully then it will leave her. It's a decent idea. So she's not sure. That is until something happens. She goes home, and she has a encounter with her demonic backup dancers. Now, this confused me because it's like it always takes the place of someone that makes sense. Why are there a bunch of her backup dancers in her apartment? I don't know. But they attack her, they hang down her throat. But it doesn't possess her? Question mark. She wakes up in a hospital, a special private hospital room that her mom cooked up, and her mom's hey, we need to get back on the tour. She's like, no, I need to call it up. No, we need to go back on the tour. And I skipped over a bunch of stuff, but I'm getting to the important stuff. All the other stuff where she's freaking out and complaining about her costume being wrong because when the light hits her, you can see her scar. I want to see my scars. My scars? No, it just, I don't know. It's all that. It's just icing on the cake to what's done here. You go watch it for all that stuff. I'm not gonna go through all the drama stuff. So she agrees to go meet Morris, and she meets up with Gemma, and she's gonna drive her there. She's gotta meet Staten Island. No, I forgot an important plot point here. Her mom ends up being possessed by the thing, and they have a little the mom herself in the throat, but then it's revealed that she did it. This guy did it. And so she's covered in blood, and she's running out there, and she's freaking out. People are freaking out. And she gets in the car with Gemma and drives. And she starts having this conversation with her, and then her phone goes off. Gemma's calling, and I remember the first time I went, oh, fuck you. You're not doing this again. Where the whole thing was in her head the entire time, like the first one. And it's going to flash to she's still in bed that night. Right? No, they made an odd choice here. Yes, Gemma is not really Gemma. But then it cuts to she's driving. Which makes no sense because the paparazzi people were there and saw her get in the passenger seat. How does that work? If anything, it would make more sense if she was the one driving and still got the phone call. And she turned... It doesn't make any sense that she's... She finally meets up with Morris at an abandoned Pizza Hut, where he's gonna use this thing to her jugular, and it's gonna kill her, and they're gonna put her in the freezer so it doesn't kill her brain. What did it say, 9 minutes or something like that, and then he's gonna use adrenaline, I assume, to put her back, right? I'm like, okay, so we're gonna end this. It's gonna be a decent ending here. Oh, I wish. Like I said, they copied the first one way too much. So, he says, I have to go get something, and leaves. And while she's there, she's waiting for him. He doesn't come back. I'm like, do not tell me that he was never there to begin with. All of a sudden, the other version of her from the car accident shows up. Oh, by the way, I want to point out that we do get a flashback. After things crawl in her, we get a flashback revealing she was at fault for the accident because they were having an argument. They said they hate each other, and she grabbed the wheel and just turned it off the road. So she was responsible for Paul's death. There's also a thing when she's at this public fundraiser thing, and you knew something was going to happen. One, because you saw it in the trailer, but two, because there's something public like that, they're going to do something. Yeah, and she sees the smile creature as Paul. So, yeah. Well, she sees the other version of herself here. Screaming again. I had to mute it again because it's so fucking loud. And it's bringing her out, and she's okay. She's done waiting for Morris, and then to the jugular and does it. She's just going to kill herself. herself, and it starts to work, and then it stops. And I went, the first time I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. 3 fake outs in the same movie. Twice with Gemma, and now this one. Are you serious? Yes. This was never real. It was never happening. As far as I can tell, the last thing that actually really happened was when she was attacked in her apartment by the backup dancers. Remember that. The last time that anything real happened was when she was in her apartment and attacked by the demonic backup dancers down the throat. So she snaps to, and she's on her tour at a concert. Her mother is fine, and she's getting ready to perform. How the hell did we get there? There's no way to be here. How? See how I said it doesn't make any sense? The last time we saw anything that was in the real world was in her apartment being attacked by the backup dancers. And now all of a sudden, when real world snaps back, she should still be unconscious in her apartment. Instead, she's on stage. Because there has to be that they had this ending in mind and had to fashion the whole movie around the ending to get to the ending. But they didn't want the movie to be too long, so they cut. Right? The problem with everything being in her head this whole time, not making any sense, is because Morris was messaging her before the backup dancers got to her. So he's a real person trying to get a hold of her. But how did the entity know who it was? I'm guessing it was the entity controlling it. No. Let me get to the ending that I just... It's one of the most obvious things you can do with this ending. Right? Like I said, her mom's still alive and she's ready to perform. Then she sees the smile creature in all its full glory attacking her, go down the throat. And like, oh no, get up. She gets up, she smiles, and then in front of all those fans. And I went, first time I watched this, I'm like, oh, fuck you. How do you even begin to continue from this point? Sure, all you need to do is just pick one. I was at the Sky Riley concert, something weird happened, and I'm seeing if it, or that could be the one that passes it on to someone else. It's like the ending of Truth or Dare, right? They couldn't figure out how to continue from that, although they didn't make enough money to warrant a sequel. I don't know how they're going to do this, to be honest. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. This is the same writers and directors as the first one. And you can tell because they reuse the same stuff. Like I said, the whole thing that I had a problem with in the first one was when it looks like she's finally got to the point where she's going to kill someone else in front of someone and end it. It never happened. She's still in her car. It was in her head the whole time. And they do the same thing here because they can't think of anything new except for this ending. And not only do they do another fake out, they do it 3 times. The thing with Gemma, where you think that it's all in her head and it's not, but it was, but you're supposed to think it's not. And why do it there if you're just going to do it again later? I get maybe it's to kind of, oh look, this was on her head. Oh no, it's real. Okay, it was like you drop, because you're gonna, because like I did it when I first watched it. You're almost like you're gonna think, is she really there? Is it all in her head? And then when it happens, and it's, oh, okay, it is real. It is real. Okay, because they're not gonna double. Then they did. They did. She was the thing the whole time. The whole time. Yes. And then the ending, which I don't particularly care for myself. But I will say on the second watch, I did find myself getting into it more than the first time. Like I said, I had to kind of clean up a little bit. And that, I was like, I need to put on something that I've seen before. And so that was on top of the stack. So I figured, okay, we'll do that one next. And then I found myself getting caught up in it. But pretty much finished. I'll move that tomorrow before I go to work, and this, that also, and the table, this table. But yeah. So I'm gonna give this a very high middle of the road. I like the first one better, although I don't know. I do remember thinking with the first one that I liked it up until the twist of, oh, guess what? You never actually did anything, and it was all in your head, and you never. No, yeah, I don't know. You know. Though I think that if it had just ended with, like, her, because my thought was when I first watched this that, oh, he's gonna come back and it's gonna possess her and do that and spread it to him. Is what I thought at first. And then when they cut to, no, she's actually on a concert, I'm like, oh, this is much worse than the. Because it's like, worse as in not the worst idea, but worse as in it's kind of going to affect more people. But it's also an obvious way to go, too, if you think about it. Like, oh, it's a pop star. You got to have her off herself at a concert to spread it, right? But now it comes to how you're going to follow it up. That's what I said earlier. I don't know. But, so what are your thoughts on Smile 2? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.